Welcome to GameBreakers. This is Thomas. I am here with, I'm going to say your name at once.
Diamond.
Good.
Excellent. Allison, Diamond, and David. Playing Struana Hardjaw, Stan Smith, and CliqClaq the Gnome, respectively, and his companion Lovelace. We are just about at the capstone of this adventure, or of this mini arc. Well, I don't know. We'll see what you do today. The lovely thing about D&D is I never have any clue what you guys are going to come up with. So I will point out that this was something I had brewing over our break, and I had a month to think through what a clever evil wizard is going to do. So I'm just going to start by the session by saying I'm not sorry and I regret nothing.
The lesson learned is don't give your GM too much time to think.
It's true. It's true, because they will. They will. A good one will, anyway. So when last we left our intrepid heroes, you had just turned into a goat and stuffed into a bag what your wizard accomplice, companion, believes is a simulacrum, a copy made by a very powerful spell of your intended target, Eskrion Keybinder. So all last episode was basically a warm-up round, is what she's telling you. On his way through the plains to briefly trap Struana on one side and the rest of the party on the other of the planar portal, tense moment, he let out a call that has started a mob of nightmares, shadow and flame horses coming down from the wall, very far off still, but headed your direction. And you are standing before a plane that opens out seemingly directly into a vast, horrific hellscape. What you have all spotted is that there is a 1-inch gap between the exit of the plane of shadow, where you all currently reside, and the entrance to this portal to hell. And that's where we open the scene.
Okay, so
options?
we have 5 minutes to decide if we're gonna suffocate this goat or let it live and ask you questions. What do you guys want to do?
Let it die. It's not really a thing.
Huh? I didn't hear you.
Let it die.
Thank you.
It says Sangrid. Let it die. It's not really a thing. It's the effect of a spell.
Dan?
Yeah. Dan shrugs his shoulders. Yeah.
David? I'm CliqClaq.
Do we have time to question it anyway?
No idea.
Unless there's some sort of spell that would do it fast, she looks over there. I think we should find a way out of this plane.
It seems like exit time, somehow.
Okay. Adios,
Do
motherfucker.
any of us have a way to get through a 1-inch space? I have not prepared anything that could. If I had an hour, do it. But that would entail basically camping out in hell, and I'm not sure that we're all prepared for that.
I mean, we could send stuff through. I don't know if that actually helps. It's a possibility.
The legend lore spell. Oh, go ahead.
I could use Misty Step. I can teleport to an unoccupied space that I can see. If I can see a space outside of the. Then if I could see it, then I can teleport there.
Everyone in the bag of holding, hold your breaths.
I think it's only me though.
I can do Dimension Door, and I can take someone with me.
There you go.
But I can take one person with me because I am out of 5th level spell slots, so I can't cast this higher.
You can take one creature and something and whatever they can carry. You can take Lovelace and she can carry me.
That's not a...
Sangrid seems doubtful that the magic would work that way.
I'm cargo. It's fine.
Only if you're dead. However, we could all climb into the bag of holding, and then someone gets through with the bag.
Okay.
I can hold my breath.
That is probably more... If Stan can do that, that's probably a better idea for Stan to be the one who lands, because he's more likely to get the bag open and things, and we don't die. I like the not dying. It's one of my favorite things.
She spots over, and it's almost you see that she's looking in very regular intervals, so that she can measure how quickly that mob of nightmares is moving, and she nods. I agree. This is a sound plan. Let's execute.
Okay, Stan, you good for that?
Yep. Get my spell
Hold
ready.
the bag. Use the bag. Hold the bag.
Bag you.
Something about a rotten egg. Oh, it smells awful in here. Do I
DM.
have to pull anything
At
to...
this- At this
This
point,
is a little bit of a
CliqClaq would like
nightmare,
to use-
though. Like,
CliqClaq would like to use the air tank and breathing mask he's built himself.
I approve wholeheartedly. Tell us what it looks like.
It was clearly a fuel tank that has been vigorously washed out, and then he soldered pipes to it, and then a mask.
It's just mounted on. It's like on the saddle horn, basically.
It was in the bag. He pulls out, and it's just this like compressed air thing with a makeshift nozzle and a pipe, and then just like a really uncomfortable triangle of metal,
Right?
like half pyramid shape.
Has it got a series of very clear gnomish warnings about contents under pressure? Do not puncture. Do not put under direct. Or is it just raw?
It has that warning from the previous contents. He pretty much figures you would know that anyway, so he doesn't bother. It's clearly a pressurized tank.
To you. Hey, look, a bottle of stuff.
But
Oh, blam.
basically, it looks like I'm breathing out of an extinguisher.
All right.
I
So-
gotta say that, like, being small and at the bottom of, like, a purse or a backpack or something that I own is sort of a nightmare to me. Like, I know what those look like on the inside. That is terrifying.
Lovelace will follow you without any hesitation. She goes where you go. There's no question.
And crabs can hold their breath for a very long time.
Probably longer than dwarves.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
1 minute per point of Constitution is the way breath holding works, or per point of Constitution modifier. So your bonus in minutes.
Right, but she's a crab. Crabs
Yes.
are air breathers. They have to go up above water to breathe, and they come back down and live underwater.
Yes.
They have, like,
And
air
there's also
back things.
a start of 10 minutes of air. So you guys are very unlikely to need that in the short term. Before Sangrid steps in, she looks at Stan and says, remember, you reach into the bag, you think each of us in turn.
You should
come out.
Turn.
Yes.
What?
Start with me. I trust you, Stan.
Can I roll motivation, like on why her first? I'm just wondering. I wonder if she's being selfish or if it's tactical. What is that? Perception? Oh, insight. Insight. 23.
So, in your interactions with her, you have seen her be a little social, a little bit manipulative early on when you showed up and she was intentionally scantily dressed. Since the teleport spell was cast and you guys started falling above the Demon Palace, there's been 0% of that. Everything has been purely tactical. And as you look at it, you also realize that most of the reason is because she wants to get out in front of the fight. She, at every point in the fight so far, if she could take a hit instead of you guys, she has. So this is another case of that, as far as you can tell, with a mighty 23 insight roll, a very cold, cut, calculating body language.
All right. Well, I will. You can trust me to execute on that. Let's go.
I know. And then she just puts her hand on her chest and dives in feet first with her hands up. So you guys inside the bag are all just floating in exactly the position that you came in, and you're all aware of each other. You see each other, but there's no sense until probably this moment. You've never been aware of your sense of time passing, because now you feel its absence. There's no heartbeat. There's no blood flow. There's just awareness of the area around you in a very static sense. Nothing moves. Everything is exactly where it goes. Nothing is arranged in any sort of particular order. And there's no obvious doorway out. There's just a blank, kind of dull gray forever out there. And you can see in your awareness that way off out there are other little clusters of objects. You're not the only one out here. You're just the one that goes to this bag of holding. None of them are recognizable or anywhere within reach, but you see a forever of just like little groups and then surrounded by nothing. Stan, what do you do?
I will perhaps make a perception check through this portal to get a good eye on the spot, and then I will activate Misty Step, which is instantaneous and requires no roll.
All right.
Make a perception check. 16.
All right, Stan. You end up here. Paplow. So the direction that you stepped, you will end up. Well, why don't you roll me a D8?
6.
Okay. So you end up right here.
And that was a bonus action. So I would, to do the Misty Step.
All right. The moment you reappear, you have an instant of silence, and then there is uproarious barking, the sound of a giant mastiff somewhere nearby, like echoing throughout the room. There's nothing there that you can see. They're just rah, 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 rah. It's a giant dog going bug nuts.
All right, I will grab the bag of holding and extract Sangrid.
Okay.
Did I say her
She
name
gets
right?
out. You did. She heads off kind of away from where the sound is and immediately starts looking at the portal setup, which is that massive series of circles in the room, which is clearly indeed two different portals, and you can see that there's some interaction and interplay between them. There's also some kind of mechanism above it that looks like it's meant to suspend somehow between or up and down, like it has that function. What do you do next, Stan?
I will pull out Struana.
Okay.
Freedom!
Freedom,
You-
terror, perception test.
What happens from inside the bag? You see, just out of the gray, an image, a ghostly image of Stan's hand come out and grab Sangrid's, and she just turns gray and goes out. Next, Struana does the same thing, and I assume, Stan, the next thing you do is pull CliqClaq and Lovelace.
Yes.
Okay. So you're all out of the bag now in this circular room. Now, I do want to point out the map textures that I could find are not necessarily the map textures that are there. So the walls are opalescent, almost like the surface of a bubble, but more opaque. And the floor seems like spun glass, like frosty in texture.
I wanted
And
to roll
your-
first.
Oh, go ahead.
perception.
All right. It's very easy to hear the sound of the dog.
Ignore that thing. D zeros. That's what I accidentally rolled. There we go. 17.
Okay. What are you looking for?
I am primarily for anything that looks dangerous or interesting, or it's a general. What's in this room? What's going on here?
There are with that. So there is the portal set and the crane mechanism that I described. You're clearly able to see that and basically how it works. And there are a series of arcane scrawls around it. Sangrid seems disgusted by it. The center of the barking seems to be in this neighborhood.
Well,
Right around. It's not moving though. What do you guys do? You're not in combat. Nothing's attacking you. There's definitely something making a whole bunch of noise.
get my bag of holding back from Stan. Thanks, Stan.
By the way, while everybody was in there, do you keep anything weird in that bag?
Probably.
There's like your weird, your crazy underwear just floating in the bag.
There's a like shrug, like I didn't expect to be here. What?
Right? Didn't know I'd have company.
I don't
So
want to look through your underwear drawer, man. Chill.
what do you guys do?
Wait for someone else to do something.
What's this long thing?
That anchored against the wall, about 8 feet up, is a crane mechanism. Essentially, it can raise or lower. It's got a set of hooks and attachment points. There's nothing currently attached, but clearly, especially to your tinker's eye, it's made to raise and lower something.
Like
Angered,
it's
at what
pulling
point
something
can
out of
we
the center.
Sorry, go ahead.
Like it's pulling something out of the center.
Like it could. It's
could.
currently up and dangling. But that is the intent, to raise and lower something over that very central point. It doesn't have any swing to it. It doesn't have any give. It's very firmly fixed on exactly that point.
Right. Can I do my own perception check of just like checking for anything to worry about?
Investigation might be, if you're thinking like traps or dangerous architecture.
No, it's just a general like feeling the room and seeing if I hear anything worrisome.
Okay.
Wow, probably not. 9.
The dog
Can you
is
tell
just
dog
filling
barking?
up the space with sound. If you've ever been in an echoey space with a giant angry dog, like it's just
Right.
now it's just feel like it's barking on all sides. It makes it hard to discern much in the way of auditory details. The wall is very smooth. Doesn't feel wet. It's smooth.
Return to the bard. Now what?
It's well lit in the room.
Yes. Reddish tinged. The light from hell is actually plenty of illumination. Plus the magical. There's various glowing wards and that circle, full of glowing arcane runes. They provide plenty of light for the room.
We break the crane.
Yes.
It's breakable.
I asked Sangren, at what point can we break the crane? That seems ripe for a just destruction.
Let's make sure we won't get destroyed as well first.
I feel like you guys could use some help. Do you mind if I give you some help?
Yeah.
So for anyone who's willing, I'm going to cast resistance. It's a cantrip, so it's just 3 casts of resistance. You get an additional 1d4 for a saving throw.
Okay. And that's not concentration, right?
No, just a.
Okay. Great.
Here you go, have a buff. I don't think it's concentration.
Very useful. Sanger goes about kind of looking at the circles. She seems to be looking, but she tells you she's looking for some way to close that particular portal, just in case.
Yeah. Do we think
So
the wizard?
Do you want us to break the crane, or what are we doing?
Give it a look. Perhaps we can find something useful in it. I'd like to find another way out of this room. I can't imagine that this is a dead end. And
It's only about 50 feet across, according to that, so.
I
I'm
think
going to walk.
that sound is Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound, a rather potent spell. Avoid the center of where the sound is coming from if you can. It packs a nasty bite. I don't have much in the way of Dispel currently, and I'd like to save it if we can. So if we can just simply avoid that.
And you said that sound's coming from the other side of where the crane is installed?
Yeah, right about there with your perception checks is where you've, it's kind of in that 5 or 10 foot area that it's centralized.
Okay, I go over and look at the crane.
Okay.
I engineer at it.
Stand back.
gonna-
Going to do science.
Exactly.
All right. If you could do me a favor and show me where you head to. Okay. So you've had angry animals this close to you before CliqClaq as a ranger. And in any other situation, you would expect to be feeling hot breath and smelling whatever it just ate if an animal was barking this ferociously at you this close.
Okay. But she already said she thinks it's a spell.
Yes, but it does pack a bite.
I'm gonna do my best to ignore it and try to look at the crane.
Okay. There's nothing specifically fascinating about the mechanism. It's simple pulleys. It looks like it's geared to weighted to get to be able to handle up to about maybe 1,000-pound load.
Okay.
It solidly bolted into the wall.
I call back to the group. Do you want me to break this or not? I'm asking everyone.
Sacred suggested.
I don't think it'll help or hurt us, says
What
Sacred.
makes the better story?
Destroying the crane.
If Sangre said it won't help or hurt us,
What makes the better story?
Sangred rolls her eyes. Bards.
she said it makes no difference right now.
I don't
Yes.
think it'll disrupt the magic. I don't think it'll do anything dangerous.
I just walk back to the group.
I'm gonna try looking for along the wall on the outside, going the opposite direction, not towards the hound, but away from it.
Okay. Investigation checks.
Is it investigative? How many do you want? Because I'm looking for not just anything like an exit, but anything that seems particularly interesting. Like,
Okay.
oh, that rock's shiny, to, hi, there's runes here. You know.
Give me. It would be. I mean, essentially, it's 1 every 5 feet. The way it's laid out in the book. We'll just call it 9, and it'll be good.
So they're on there for you.
Okay.
My highest is 21 and my lowest is a 5.
All right. So at the far end of the circle, right about here, you find, and again, it is hot. Like there is a dog right in your face, as far as you can tell from audio, and that audio includes like jaws snapping shut. Like a dog right at the end of its chain trying to get you.
Yeah, I'm definitely not stepping forward. It's not a thing that's happening.
Just forward from you, you can see what looks like. So thus far, your searches have it's been entirely seamless and entirely smooth. you see for the first time a irregularity in the wall. Goes from top to bottom. Now give me a willpower test.
Damn it. Sorry, what is a willpower?
It's a save. Your will save.
Do you mean wisdom?
I'm sorry, old D&D.
I think that's wisdom now. That's what my thing says. So 11? Right in the middle of the road.
So yeah, you can see that's essentially what you see is the first irregularity, and you can see that there's kind of another like on the other side of the hound toward the crane is another little dimple
In the wall?
Yeah.
So, guys, it seems like there's past this terrifying invisible beast are a couple of like almost divots in the wall. And that's literally all I found. I don't know if that's meaningful or not, but I figure you guys should know that.
Miss Guide person, lady?
Yes.
What does this dog do?
If you get too close, it will deliver a bite. It's a conjuration, not an illusion. It will hurt.
Is it is it a range thing? Does a dog appear and bite you? What do you know what happened? Like what?
The caster chooses an anchor point. Anything within 5 feet of that is subject to the dog's wrath.
Once it's activated, does it go away?
It will last for hours.
Even when triggered?
Yes. It's not so much triggered. It's just that it acts like a dog, as though when someone like us, an intruder, comes into its master's domain, it behaves as any other canine beast.
How to get rid of it?
When he says just on the other side, when you say just on the other side, is it within 10 feet of where I'm standing?
Let's see. So it's right about here.
Okay. So I think that the dog is guarding either the way out or or the MacGuffin.
If I were using the spell to protect my lair, that's where I would put it, in front of some secret door, so that it's difficult to get through.
Okay.
Struana, have you any more ways to dispel? Can you cast any more dispel magic today?
I do believe I am entirely out, but I'm gonna confirm that.
I think I have one more dispel magic.
Do you, Stan?
I can cast one as I can cast one as a higher level spell, but I'd rather save that dimension door for just in case. Honestly.
Yeah. My other level 3 spell is not as cool.
All right. Well then, I will use mine, and you two save yours for the fight against Eskrion. We have to get through this door, and I mean, you can't fight this creature. It doesn't have a form to hit. It has forceful teeth and a loud voice, but there's nothing to hit. There's nothing to attack. So if we're to get through it, I'll use mine. While I do, everyone stand close to me. There are secrets I know around the use of abjuration. And she does so. There's a dice roll. Oh, 20.
I don't care if the GM rolled that. That was a party member. Yeah.
Right. I can be the good guys too, even when in black robes. And oh, it's so good to have silence. There's a moment while everything just rings, and then, well, when I say silence, what I mean is the dull roar of hell that way, and the angry whinnying of horses coming through on the other side. Just, I mean, this is definitely bad horse death whinny. It's awful. Like. But they don't seem real. You know what? Actually, they pass unhindered. You see them roaming back and forth, like mobbing through both portals from hell to the plane of shadow. The faithful hound winks out. The room is otherwise silent. You guys do have the opportunity now to do more with the door.
Gonna go investigate that dimple.
You can? Anybody else? Anybody helping? Teamwork?
I'll help.
Sure.
Okay. Also, so anybody teamworking, give me a wisdom save.
Plus 1d4, right?
If that's
On
the
it.
one you want to keep it on.
Yep.
Does 15 make it?
I hope so, because that's what I rolled too.
And we all did.
Mm-hmm.
So you see there is the wall is an illusion, and it becomes kind of filmy and glassy as you touch into it, and your will powers through it. It is clearly a door. It's got handles. It's made of the same material, but you know, there's hinges, handles. Seems to be an opening mechanism. Investigation tests, I assume, or you guys just want to kick it open?
I got a 9.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Hang on. 23. Investigation.
It's trapped.
11.
You can see that there are a series of electrically conductive wires that go that vary. It looks mostly decorative, but you know what metallurgically to look for. That go around the keyhole, and the handle is essentially you reach in and turn and pull rather than like any kind of knob or latch.
Does it look like magic electricity or mundane?
The source is probably magic. The method of concentration is mundane. It's been engineered to go right into whoever grabs the door.
CliqClaq is going to use this opportunity to test a theory. He pulls out thick rubber gloves and reaches in and opens the door.
I will give you an advantage on the dex save. It is also a spell, and you're gnome, so you have double advantage.
That's pretty great.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So I rolled this 4 times.
Give me 3 rolls. Take the highest.
$17.
All right, so you definitely made it, and the rubber glove is going to give you damage resistance to electric. So take 4 points of zap damage. This is an amount of electricity that you have seen kill sloppy, not careful gnomes. And it was a little like your arm tenses up a little bit, like when you get that thing at the chiropractor. It just hurts. And the door is open. The door opens into empty space, it seems, at the beginning. You can see there is, looking closely, there is a shimmery reflection of staircase made out of something transparent, but past that is nothing. Sky, and below you are clouds.
Dancing lights!
Okay. You fire them off outside the area, I assume, or okay.
Yeah.
Well, one interesting piece of information: you send your dancing lights off to a point in space, and you see it as though you moved very quickly past that point in space.
Again! Okay.
I have one of the things in my pack is I have a few balls made of cork, like the wood. I take one and cover it in ink and roll it down the stairs.
It's up, actually.
Roll it. Oh, up. Oh, there. Stairs going up.
So from the best you can tell, it goes up and around, like a kind of a little bubble, a long bubble on the side of a bubble. Except this one's transparent.
Stairs leading up to a bubble.
They're on the outside, so it's like it's a round bubble, and it's like there's a long bubble attached to the outside,
protecting us from whatever's outside as you go up the stairs.
Yeah, the inside and outside are separate. As you kind of like poke your head in, you can see there's probably a door at the top.
Okay, never mind about the cork.
Okay. I mean, it's only about 30 foot of stairs. You could throw it to the top and have it dot them down, like you wanted to mark the stairs.
So the part where it just dodges is how far-ish past the stairs? The part where the light just goes vroom past it very quickly?
So you are inside something that is traveling you and this staircase together, and you were able, because it's transparent, to cast it outside.
That makes sense. Okay.
Right? A fixed point in space, relativity.
What I was seeing in my head was a traveling forward and then suddenly moving, as if it was moving away, bouncing off of something. Or that makes more sense. Thank you.
Okay.
Just so
up the stairs.
I bet that looks really pretty.
we should be careful of traps.
Percepting the whole time as we go up the stairs.
All right, it's investigation. Would you like to take the lead? I'm all right at it, but I don't have the ranger's nose. She will use teamwork to give you an advantage on the roll.
Right. Is this something that my goggles give me advantage on?
Something your what gives you advantage?
We talked about the goggles I made a while back.
No, they're
Okay.
more for perceptive stuff.
Okay. That was not good.
Well, you do have
Right.
advantage from teamwork.
Oh, okay. $14.
All right. Seems clear.
Great.
It's the first 10 feet or 5 feet.
Right. I like to specify I mount it up while we're doing this.
Okay. So you progress 5 feet, and Lovelace is a little tense. You feel her, because you're.
We agree.
It's glass stairs, basically.
So again?
Yeah.
Still advantage?
Yep.
No?
Yes,
Wait.
still advantage. Sangred is right behind you.
11.
It looks clear.
Yeah. Moving forward.
Okay. Slowly, carefully. The clouds are whipping by underneath you.
Hey, 21.
21. This was the square that you needed a success in. You failed the other two. This was the one. So what you see as you're looking is a section of the face of the stair, the vertical portion of the stair, that is set to come out and snare a foot. And over at the edge, on the wall side, you can see that there is a secondary trigger mechanism that does a similar thing to all the steps. And looking from that trigger, you can see that there's also some sort of switch or some sort of mechanism above you that has very, very, very thin nozzles, and it's a transparent tube that leads to it.
Can I tell how to deactivate it, or do we just avoid it?
Somebody could try to use thieves' tools or a straight intelligence check to disable it. Also, it's D&D. There's 1,000 things you might be able to try.
Right. I mean, I have both of those things.
Okay. Are you proficient
You are
in thieves'
also
tools?
most likely to succeed at that.
Yeah. So Thieves' Tools means I add my proficiency to it,
Yes.
and then do a straight intelligence check.
Yes.
Okay. Come on.
Or you add your proficiency twice. If you just had the tools, you'd add your proficiency bonus. Because you're proficient in the tools, it's double.
23.
So you've disabled the foot catcher. And you're pretty sure that if that doesn't trigger, then the top trap won't fire. Still not sure whatever it is that comes spraying out of that, but you're pretty sure it's not good.
It is at this moment that I first tell the rest of them what I'm doing.
Oh,
Point out, so there's that trip, then there's a thing, and then the nozzle, and I'm using the most like shop talk terms for them that I don't have personally, but you know, he's not saying thingy, he's saying actual gear and pulley terms.
mhm.
So you know, watch out for those. We should be fine, but who knows? Step carefully and quickly, and then move on.
All right, so I'm going to have you guys give me a marching order on the stairs from there on up.
Also, I'll go first.
Okay. I'm assuming investigation checks all the way up, so Sangrid will be behind you. Spoiler alert, you found it. Who's behind that?
I will do that.
Caboose!
All right. So you get up to the door, and there's clearly a door there. Looks almost exactly the same as the door that you came back from. What do you do?
Check for traps, cause duh.
Okay. Give me a wisdom save.
Oh god. Really? Natural 20, 22.
That door is an illusion.
This door is an illusion.
Well, damn.
This party popper isn't. Oh, maybe it was.
A pre-pop party.
Try that again.
Yay.
Through the door, as you break the illusion, you are able to see that room. If you go to the left on your map, you are standing about here. Oops. That I mean.
That didn't.
Here.
Oh, there.
And through the door, you can see a man who looks exactly like the person you fought in the Plane of Shadow. Huge horns, very broad, thin, and decorated. This one has silver caps at the tips, various dangles and things hanging from it, wrapped around it. He's wearing spectacles and a dark, very ornate robe. But the most striking feature of him is that on his lap is a very, very small dragon with a barbed stinger at the end of its tail that looks like it is made of shadows. And it is looking at you.
Oh.
And we'll break there. Thanks everybody for watching part one. We are going to take a quick break to, mostly to cut our run time so we don't drop any frames for you guys. If you like what we do, hit like. If you want to do more of it, or want us to do more of it, go ahead and hop over to our Patreon. And I guess somewhere I usually talk about subscribing. So thanks for all your support. We'll see you soon.